Hey guys, it's 20 after 9 on January 20th, 2023. I wanted to do a quick demo. I was asked about being able to predict, and I use air quotes here, but predict to some extent the rally that began yesterday around lunchtime. So I'll just walk you through my thought process. It's not magic, it's just watching the trades, and when you start to recognize patterns after a while. So this is what I saw. I've got my disproportionately large trades screen here, and I've got it filtered to just SSO, but during the day I don't have this thing filtered, and just everything's coming through that's large enough that maybe I want to take a look. So just to simplify this though, I've got it filtered to SSO. This trade caught my eye. It's really big. The SSO is the 2x leveraged SPY ETF. 1.5 million shares of SSO is really, really large. I knew as soon as I saw that number that was really big. I didn't even know that it was as big as it was. I just knew it was big enough that I had to pay attention. And I only know that just from experience, just watching these things all day, every day. You start to recognize what's in range and what's not in range, even before these stats are calculated. But anyway, this came in 49 times larger than average, ranks in the top 100, 55th largest in its history. This is going back, I have data back to 2006, so thousands, if not millions of trades over that period of time. This one ranks really high, and largest since December OPEX. And you expect these trades to be larger on OPEX and end of month and end of quarter, end of year, and so on. This day, the 19th, yesterday was a Thursday. It wasn't OPEX, it wasn't end of month, it wasn't anything significant, it was just a regular day. So that means it's even more noteworthy, in my opinion. But that's just details. What I knew was, as soon as I saw this, and I knew where we were in the midst of a decline, that this was likely to mark some kind of a low. And so we look at the chart. This is the day before, the 18th. We had this steep decline, came all the way down, and then all at once, these three trades hit. The big one here at 1134, another 75K came with it, 1134, and then a little bit more at 1136. So at this point, I realized they're trying to put in a low here. Now, you don't know if this is going to be the exact low. Sometimes they're a little early, but the likelihood of this being anything but a buy was very slim. This is leveraged long ETF. There's no reason to short it here, all the way at the bottom of this trough. Almost certainly going to be longs. So at this point, the only thing that remains is the timing. How long is it going to take to resolve up, if indeed it does resolve up? So I saw this, and I started maneuvering around my trades. I had a couple of shorts on the books, and I closed them, and I flipped long. And this is what happened next. It came down, and it chopped a little bit, and I think there was about maybe 20 minutes to half an hour between the time at which the trades printed and the time at which the ascent began. So there was time to figure out what you wanted to do, to close trades, to open trades, to maneuver things around, to reposition if you needed to, whatever. And it doesn't even mean you have to necessarily take this as a long. This is just as good as a signal to say get out of your shorts. So if you were short at the time and you're not sure how long to remain short, seeing something like this is a big kind of a red flag. Get the heck out, because the likelihood of this continuing down with these long leverage trades having just printed, which are disproportionately large and disproportionately rare, is low. So you should expect a reversal. And that's what we got. Price came down, tapped a little bit further. I was watching Bookmap at the time, and I saw E-mini futures, ES was, they got a really big fill down here. It was 1,500 contracts. So some big player absorbed a ton of inventory. And I knew, after seeing this and that big absorption on the order book, that it was going to turn. What I didn't know was what form that would take. I just was pretty confident that a reversal was in play. And we got one. So we got a little pop here, got a little pullback, and I think I rode my first long somewhere around here, and then I got back in a little early. I got back in down here, anticipating more because I thought this is a lot of inventory here to only give us a slight move. And I don't know what that translated to in SPY terms, but maybe, yeah, it was like a $2 move in SPY. So, you know, something, but I shouldn't reasonably expect that that was going to be the end of the rally and we're going to continue on down, not with all this inventory here. So started to pull back. I was looking for a chance to get back in long because I was confident it would go again. I got in a little early myself. It dipped a little lower than I thought, but no big deal. And it went up again, and then it chopped, and it was really difficult. I don't remember exactly where I got out the second time, but I didn't catch all of it because it was so choppy and so just difficult to trade. But I did catch some of it, so I got in somewhere around here, and I got out first time, and then the second time around here, and then it ran a little bit further. I can't remember if I made a third trade, but it's irrelevant. The point is, we knew a reversal was coming, and we got one, and this is the form that it took. And then it came down, and it kind of reversed towards the end of the day. So we got a nice little run here, and then we got the pullback and into the close. Now, what came next was, this is SPY at the end of the day, and I put a second post out there saying, I think they bought the close. And people asked why. And it was somewhat of intuition, somewhat looking at the trades, somewhat just thinking, we got an awful lot of inventory down here. We got an okay little rally. But in my view, it wasn't enough to satisfy it. On top of that, we saw a lot of trades come in here at the end of the day, a lot of large trades. Now, none of these are, you know, off the charts large, but they're large enough. They're highlighted in yellow here. This one's 30 times larger than average, a handful of others. But just the manner in which this bounce came down, all these trades came in and price kind of bounced above them. I know it's aftermarket at this point. It's not, in my view, very reliable, but what I didn't see was price just kind of slice through those, which may have just suggested some short covering maybe from up here. I don't know. But this looked to me like they were buying the dip. And and it would make sense to get a move, a pullback, and then another move. That's not an uncommon occurrence. So I thought buying big here, get a little pop and a pullback, and then another move somewhere. So that's what we got. Now, this is what the day looked like today. So this is at the close yesterday, and then today, here's that pop, here's that pullback, then all this trading here. And then it kind of, I remember it was flat all night, and it was frustratingly flat. I tried a couple of longs, didn't play out for me. Got up in the morning, and then it does this again. It comes up, and it tests that same level right after the open. First thing it does is it comes down and tests the same level, and then it shoots right up. Now, all these trades here are signature prints. These are trades that were made last night in overseas markets that arrived today, that printed today. But as the day goes on and as these things continue to show up, they continue to reinforce the notion that this is some kind of a local or intermediate low / bottom. So we got that big rally. So we got a move up, pull back, meandering, and then a big move today. Now, today's move was much stronger than I expected. I thought when they got it up to here, this was going to be it. And boy, was I wrong, especially when we got that nice little fake sell-off here. I saw a few prints come in up here, and both IWM and QQQ and SPY, and I thought, okay, well, maybe that's all we're going to get is like an ABC in LA wave terms, and maybe that's still what it was, I don't know, but some kind of measured move, some kind of rally into the weekend, and then they'd cap it here. And they didn't. And obviously, everybody knows they blasted the heck off. But I botched this whole afternoon, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about how I could have seen it coming, or how you could have seen it coming, because it's not magic. It's not anything more than data. So just to review, and actually before we review, let's look at QQQ. Other things that you could have seen that may have furthered your confidence that this was a long setup is looking at how QQQ behaves too. And in the morning, we got this really big 1.6 million share trade. So if I just filter this to the top 3, it should show up. And this was a big clue as well. And if you weren't sure from SPY and SSO and whatever else you may have been watching, this was pretty big for an intraday move. Now it showed up at 10:30. It's a little bit late. It was a late print. You can see it's kind of a little bit to the right of where price was. These two trades here actually traded when price was down here, but they reported those trades a little late. But regardless, by 10:30 in the morning, you should have a pretty good idea that this thing is, you don't know necessarily how far it's going to go up. You just can be confident it's probably not going to go down. And if it does come down, as it suggested it might here, it's not likely to get back below these prints. So this is some kind of a floor, and so is this. So anyway, that's it. Back to reviewing it all. First thing you do, you see the trade. You know the trade's big. This screen gives you context. It tells you how big, how rare. It tells you the last time that trade came in. It tells you how how many shares and how many dollars and how big it is relative to all of its other trades. 49 times larger than average. This is a big deal, especially intraday. This came in at 11:30 in the morning. If this was an after-hours trade or a closing trade, that might be a little bit of a different story. But this was a middle of the day dark pool sweep. Somebody wanted in, somebody wanted in right now. Didn't matter what the price was. They bought a ton of it. So you see the price. You pull up the chart. You see where we are in the chart. You see price was up here yesterday. It's come all the way down. Big trades at lows tend to be covers and buys. Big trades at highs tend to be sells. So odds are this is a buy or at minimum a cover. But either way, you should expect some kind of a bounce soon. And we got one. And we got it. It looks like this. And then today, we got the pullback and then the big move. So the whole thing was reinforced by seeing the closing trades and seeing how price behaved here. Signature prints come in later in the day, further enforcing the fact that this thing is more likely to go up than down. And then you have QQQ. And I could pull up IWM as well and see a similar pattern. So that's it. Questions, send me an email, info@volumeleaders.com, or send me a DM. They're always open on Twitter. Hope this helps. Thanks, guys.